So, today we're going to talk about a really ancient philosophy. But here's the thing, this isn't about just piling more information on top of what you already know. It's about building a mental framework, a kind of operating system, to finally make sense of all the knowledge you've already collected and actually put it to use. You know that feeling, right? Where you're constantly reading books, watching videos, just consuming all this incredible information, but then you look around at your life and, well, not a whole lot is actually different. It's a super common and, honestly, a pretty frustrating place to be. There's a name for this, the collector's dilemma. And look, it isn't some personal failure on your part. It's a strategic problem. We've all gotten really good at collecting facts and ideas, but most of us were never taught how to build the mental framework to actually use them to change how we think, feel, and act. So in this explainer, we're going to hit 3 key points. First, we'll break down why having a framework is so much more powerful than just having a pile of facts. Second, we'll talk about the one single quality that this ancient wisdom says you must have for any real learning to happen. And finally, and maybe most importantly, we'll get into how you can start applying this like right now. The answer to this whole collector's dilemma might just be found in what's known as Hermetic philosophy. But again, this isn't about adding another book to the pile. Think of it less like new information and more like a tool for organizing all the stuff you already have. So what is it really? Let's put it in today's terms. Hermetic philosophy is basically a cognitive framework. It's a system designed to help you connect different ideas, to understand the operating principles of your own mind, and ultimately to live your life with more intention. It's kind of like a serious upgrade for your mental operating system. This quote just gets right to the heart of the whole philosophy. It uses this amazing metaphor. The goal isn't to build some huge, overwhelming new temple of facts. Instead, it's about handing you a single master key that lets you unlock the doors inside the temple you've already built. It's about making sense of all that stuff you've already collected. But here's the thing. Using this master key isn't automatic. The teachings are really clear that there's a prerequisite. There's a certain mental posture you have to get into before that key will even turn in the lock. The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. Now, that might sound a little mystical or secretive, right? But it's not. It's really just a practical, psychological principle. You can't force knowledge into a mind that isn't actually ready to receive it. So, what does it mean to be ready? Having ears of understanding is all about making a shift from being a collector on the left to becoming a practitioner on the right. See, the collector hoards facts, maybe for intellectual pride, but the practitioner applies knowledge. They cultivate their attention. They practice humility, and that humility is the key. It's not about being weak. It's about being open enough to pay attention to what actually works, and then having the discipline to do it. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's make this really concrete. How does having a framework actually change the way you go about your day-to-day life? Let's see it in action. The main goal is something the old texts call mental transmutation. It's an old school term for sure, but the idea is timeless. It simply means moving from a state of automatic, knee-jerk reaction to a chosen, conscious, proactive response. It is the practical art of mastering your own mental states. This slide shows the difference perfectly. It uses this great metaphor. Are you the reactive log just getting tossed around by the waves of life? Or are you the proactive swimmer, using the laws of the water to navigate where you want to go? You know, at work, the log says, my boss is making me stressed. The swimmer says, I can't control my boss, but I can master my own response. It's about taking back your agency in every single area of your life. And this is maybe the most important part, that shift from just thinking about it to actually doing it. This philosophy is very, very firm, that knowledge that isn't used is totally useless. It's something they call the law of use. Just like money is meant to be circulated and used, knowledge is meant to be lived. Hoarding it is called mental miserliness. Basically, being a hoarder with your ideas. The whole point is to apply what you learn. Okay, so here's a simple, practical reset you can use, literally today. The next time you feel that reactive pull, that stress, that anger, that frustration, just try this. Step 1, pause. Just for a second, acknowledge what's happening. Step 2, inquire. Ask yourself a simple question. What part of this is actually within my control? And step 3, choose. Deliberately choose how you want to respond in a way that aligns with the person you actually want to be. That's it. Pause, inquire, choose. So as we start to wrap things up, the core message here is really one of empowerment. This ancient framework, it's not about some mysterious forces outside of you. It's about mastering the forces within you. So let's just quickly recap what we discovered today. We saw how a framework is what turns all that disorganized knowledge into actual, usable wisdom. We learned that the real keys to understanding aren't some big secrets, but are the qualities of humility and focused attention. And, most importantly, we saw that you can start practicing this mental mastery at any moment. The fundamental teaching here is that your mind is your own personal universe, and you are its master. The 7 Hermetic principles, which this whole philosophy is built on, are simply the tools you need for that mastery. In our very next explainer, we're going to explore the first and maybe the most foundational of all these tools, the principle of mentalism. To make sure you don't miss that journey, be sure to subscribe to the Classic Mosaic Truth playlist. So, are you ready to dive in?